With regard to the drug screen today, he advises me that he will not pass the drug screen. Said he was going to be positive for marijuana and meth.
This is absolutely ridiculous. Now you come in here telling me I can't go to jail, Judge, because, I'm going to lose my job and I value my job. I mean, how bad of a problem do you have when you know you're being watched? You're coming in to get sentenced for violating your probation, for using meth, and you come in here dirty for meth. That's not my problem. That's your problem.
All right. This one right here is a masterclass in how to ruin your own second chance. Mr. Capel walks into court already on probation, already under supervision, already being tested. And before the hearing even really gets moving...
To the matter then, did you have a chance to go over the resentencing recommendations with Mr. Capel?
I did, Your Honor. There's nothing of a factual nature that we need to address in there. I did talk to Mr. Capel about his payments. He's indicated that he was planning on paying with his taxes. I think he has some financial difficulties due to being in and out of work. So I think he's trying to catch up on some back bills and putting the court on the back burner, so to speak. Advised him that's not a good idea. Even paying $5 a week would make an impression on the court. So I think he'll try and do better going forward. With regard to the drug screen today, he advises me that he will not pass the drug screen. And
in what respect are we not going to pass?
Said he was going to be positive for marijuana and meth.
Well, I think that's a real good reason, Mr. Capel, to start looking at why you can't make any probation cost payments. You're spending it all on meth. Anyway, go ahead, Ms. Schaub. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Your Honor, he was honest with me that he would not pass. I discussed with him where he got it, and he apparently said it was a gift. But obviously, given his circumstances, that was not a wise choice. But he does have a full-time job. If he goes to jail for 15 days, I don't know if that job will be available when he gets out of jail. So I don't know what the court wants to do with Mr. Capel. I don't know how. I had notes prior to his pleading to this that he had been testing clean and doing what he was supposed to do, but apparently he's gotten a little bit off track. I'm hoping the court will give him one more break and not put him in jail today.
Thank you. Mr. Capel, anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, I work at hometown right now. We're reduced to winter hours.
What?
We're reduced hours right now because it's the slow season. So I'm only getting like 32-ish a week. So it's like $500 a paycheck, roughly, give or take, after taxes. But I should have enough to pay for, if not half, majority of the court costs that I owe. Because of 4 seasons, I clocked enough hours, I think. I'm just waiting on the W-2 SE. I worked there for 2 days.
His own attorney has to admit something brutal. He's not going to pass his drug screen. Not maybe, not possibly. He's going to be positive for marijuana and meth while on probation. And here's the part that makes your jaw drop.
Well, Mr. Capel, anything else you'd like to add?
May should go back to regular hours, so I'll have a lot better time.
How long have you been there?
Since July.
And what are you working now then?
Well, it's a rotating schedule, so it's 8 to 4 with Wednesday off, and then the Saturday off for my work camp, and then it's 9 to 4 or 9 to 5 with Wednesday off, and then I work that Saturday 8 to 1. That's if I don't get sent home early. Because we have a high school kid that comes in about 3:30. Usually let him get a couple hours for the end of the day there.
Well, I have some serious concerns here. This was an underlying felony, Mr. Capel. You had 2 charges of assault with a dangerous weapon, felonious assault, felony firearm, reckless use of a firearm. And it was a very troubling underlying situation. In a dating relationship, argument the day before, pushed her on several occasions. Victim and another victim were present in the apartment. You became upset, retrieved a revolver from your bedroom, brandished the revolver, and demanded everyone leave the apartment. That was pled down by the prosecutor's office. You ended up pleading on a domestic violence, an assault and battery, and a reckless use of a firearm, all in misdemeanor court. That you were placed on probation for in January of 2023. Your bond condition, sir, where you were not supposed to be using marijuana or other types of controlled substances that weren't prescribed to you way back in November of 2022. That was put into place. That continued when you were sentenced in January of 2023. In regard to the matter, then, we've had several blips with your probation, and then most recently, what you're being sentenced for today was on September 20th, you had a positive for methamphetamine. Here we are in January of 2024, and your lawyer's telling me you're still going to be positive. I lowered your payment to $100 a month starting back then in October, and you still haven't made any payments because from what it seems like to me, the money's going out the door. Maybe you've got less hours, but you have not. How do you justify purchasing methamphetamine? You can't. And maybe it was a gift, maybe it wasn't, but now we got September and January on top of everything else going on here. It sounds to me from the behavior that was demonstrated at the underlying charge, you had probably some meth going on that day and an inability to control your anger due to the ingestion of meth. It does not do good things to people. You're lucky you didn't kill somebody that day.
This man is standing there telling the judge he can't go to jail because he values his job. He's worried about losing hours. He's worried about his paycheck. He's explaining winter schedules, reduced shifts, W-2 forms. Like,
this is absolutely ridiculous. Now you come in here telling me, I can't go to jail, judge, because, I'm going to lose my job and I value my job. If you valued your job, you wouldn't have been doing meth. You know you're being watched. I mean, how bad of a problem do you have when you know you're being watched? You're coming in to get sentenced for violating your probation for using meth, and you come in here dirty for meth. That's not my problem. That's your problem. That's a big problem. That's what you're telling me. Red flags going up all over. Problem. Can't even control my behavior enough when I know I'm going to go to court and get sentenced. So I am sorry, Mr. Capel. Sometimes we are our own worst enemies, aren't we? I don't know what to tell you here, but this is absolutely ridiculous.
Give me 3 weeks, I can guarantee.
She's not worried about the payment. She's worried about you doing
I
drugs.
can guarantee you clean UA, and then I'll guarantee everyone after that to be clean.
Yeah, well, you should have been doing that all along, Mr. Capel. So this is where you're at today. I'm going to continue your probation. If you can't establish clean testing, get used to the bunk rack over there, because that's where you'll be back. Your outstanding balance is $795. I will allow that continued payment to commence 30 days after his release from jail. Recommence.
That was $17.95, Your Honor.
What did I say? $17.95. I'm not going to assess another attorney fee. We'll take that off of there.
Can I get a report date?
I'm going to order 15 days in jail, 0 days credit. I will hold 10 days in abeyance if you successfully pass a drug screen today at booking. If you don't, you will serve the 15 days commencing immediately. You are still required to attend the divert counseling program. You can continue attending that. So, Mr. Capel, if you can't pass the screen today, you're going to be sitting your 15 days.
I can't get a check-in date, so.
No, it's right now.
When you
Right now.
get out of jail, you check in with your probation officer as soon as possible.
Right now, Mr. Capel, you made this bed yourself. Think about it. You got 15 nights to think about it.
Sign, and then he'll take you down to probation.
Yes, he's going to jail either for 5 days or 15, depending on him. So if you test clean, you'll be out in time to go to work on Monday. That key is in your hands. I can't do anything about it. In regard to the matter, that's that. Did you understand your appeal rights then, Mr. Capel?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
This is a staffing meeting. Meanwhile, the judge is looking at him like, you value your job? Then why are you gambling it on meth? Because let's be real, this wasn't a surprise test. He knew he was coming to court. He knew he was being watched. He knew he was being sentenced for violating probation for meth. And he still shows up dirty again. That's not bad timing. That's not a misunderstanding. That's a pattern. His attorney tries to soften it. Says he'd been testing clean before. Says maybe he got a little off track. Mentions that the meth was apparently a gift. A gift. Nobody gives that as a celebration. That's not a birthday surprise. That's a warning sign, and instead of owning it, instead of saying, Judge, I messed up. I need help, he starts negotiating, talking about tax returns, talking about paying half the court costs. Like paying a bill erases a drug violation, but probation isn't a payment plan. It's a privilege. And when you violate it, especially more than once, you're pushing the court to decide whether you deserve that privilege at all, and that's when the judge pulls out the history, and everything shifts. Because this wasn't some minor, harmless case. The underlying charges: assault with a dangerous weapon, felony firearm, reckless use of a firearm, a domestic dispute that escalated, a revolver pulled out in anger, people told to get out, a situation. That could have ended with someone seriously hurt, or worse. And here's the key part. Those were reduced. He didn't end up carrying those full felony convictions. He got a break. He got placed on probation in January 2023. The court basically said, we're giving you a chance to prove you can handle freedom. But freedom comes with rules. One of those rules? No drugs. He tested positive in September. Now it's January. And his lawyer is standing there admitting he'll likely test positive again. Payments were already lowered to help him out. Still unpaid. The judge connects the dots. If money's tight, how is meth even in the picture? And then she says something that hits like a hammer. Sometimes we are our own worst enemies. You can feel the frustration in the courtroom. Not just anger, concern. Because this isn't just about him anymore. When you mix anger issues, a firearm history, and methamphetamine, that becomes a public safety issue. The judge even suggests what a lot of people are thinking. Maybe meth played a role in that original explosive behavior. Maybe that loss of control wasn't random, and then Mr. Capel tries one more move. Give me 3 weeks, he says. I guarantee I'll be clean. But here's the problem. He couldn't stay clean knowing he had court today. 3 weeks suddenly sounds like 3 excuses. And now the judge has to decide, does she believe him or does she protect the public? And this is where the hammer finally drops. The judge makes it crystal clear. This isn't about punishing someone for struggling. It's about accountability. You can't stand in court, admit you're about to fail a drug test, and then ask for sympathy because you might lose your job. She orders 15 days in jail. But even then, she gives him a sliver of opportunity. If he passes the drug test at booking, 10 of those days will be held in abeyance. If he fails, he serves the full 15 immediately. The key is in his hands. That's powerful. That's fair. That's the court saying, I can't make the choice for you, but your freedom depends on your actions. And you can almost feel the reality settling in. 15 nights. 15 chances to think about how he got here, about how a second chance turned into another violation. Here's the hard truth. Addiction is real. It's serious. It's complicated. But so is public safety. Judges have to balance compassion with responsibility. You can't ignore repeated violations, especially when there's a history involving weapons and volatile behavior. This wasn't the judge being cruel. This was the judge saying, enough. Probation is an opportunity, not a shield, not a reset button. An opportunity, and when someone keeps proving they can't follow the simplest condition, stay clean, eventually the court has to step in. So now the question is simple. Was the judge too harsh? Too soft? Or exactly right? Because at the end of the day, this wasn't about court costs. It wasn't about work hours. It wasn't about birthday gifts. It was about whether a second chance was being taken seriously. And in this courtroom, actions spoke louder than excuses.